What's up, guys? Welcome to another video of DevTalks with your host Travian. Without further ado, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support, and yeah, I really appreciate it. We've been growing a lot this year, and I believe we're gonna grow even more as the years go by. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. In this video, we have a video by a content creator of the name Donald Dang or Dong. I'll link his video into his channel into the description down below. But he talked about getting laid off of his engineering job. Now, every time somebody talks about layoffs, I'm really curious to what they have to say in their story. I don't like hearing stories like this. I only like stories like this if they give a actual real perspective instead of like a boohoo sad story. Like I'm curious about what it is in this case. We don't really cover the people who are laid off in some of these scenarios. Every now and then we don't really cover this as much. We cover the news of people getting laid off, but not really the creators themselves. So without further ado, we're just going to dive right into this, see what he has to say, and from there we'll give my take on it and all of that. I am an engineer myself, software engineer. Let's see what kind of engineer he is, and let's just dive in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out so much. It helps out the channel, helps out the algorithm, get more reach to these videos. I really appreciate it all. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Don here. In this video we're going to talk about my recent experience getting laid off. So this is a video that I never thought I'd actually make, but it happened. It is what it is. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the story of how it happened. So basically, I've been working at this job for almost 3 years now. I'm coming on 2 years and 10 months. Everything was all going good. I actually got a raise about, I'd say, 2 or 3 months prior. So in my mind, I thought I was doing well. I thought job security was quite good, but I always knew that in the back of my head, there's always a possibility that I would be laid off at some point in time. I don't know what it was. It was probably a gut reaction, but I just felt that inside in my heart. And so know it, I was right. So before going there, I really focused on being frugal. I was always a frugal person, right? And that's always been one of the advantages that I've had, is just my frugality. So I was always saving money, always make sure that I have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and so be it. I definitely ended up using it. So let's talk a little bit about the layoff itself. So the context is, I was chatting with HR, and I said, hey, my TN support letter, my TN is about to expire. I'm going to get together with my lawyer, and we're going to review it. I'm going to draft him a new support letter. Could you sign it for me? Right? And she said, you know what? Send over the support letter. We'll review it, that kind of thing. Now, I didn't think anything about this, because this is the exact same language that she used when she originally signed my letter. So I thought nothing of it. It's like, great, let's set a meeting around 9:30 in the morning on a Wednesday, right, when you're in town. So she comes into town, and Wednesday comes around 9:30. So she's like, hey, can you come in and have a seat with me and not my boss, but the boss above him? It's like, this is a little bit strange, but okay. So I walk into the office.
Yeah, you gone instantly. HR and you skip level. I've been hearing horror stories about that. Anytime a skip level with HR gets into something, you should already know that you're gone. I've heard so many patterns of that. Like, that's the pattern. Like, a lot of people are so calm when they hear that. They'd be like, all right, I'm getting laid off or whatever. Some people want to get laid off, mind you. Some people do. I've seen some people wanting to be upset that they weren't part of the batch of layoffs because they want a severance package. They want to leave. They want to get paid for that, go figure out stuff. They'll have more time on their hands probably for something else. But you have to find a job. And finding a job right now is what's difficult. People can't abuse abuse it like how they were in COVID. Like, in COVID, it was that thing where like every engineer knows, hey, if you are not loyal to these companies, you will get promoted quicker, you'll get paid higher, and you'll get raises that way by just jumping around to different companies every 2 to 3 years or so. So I've been full time for almost 3 years, um, almost 3.5 years. I've been a software engineer in my career in field, but I remember right out of college thinking that I was about to be part of a layoff, but I didn't understand like the language and stuff like that because it I've never been in I wasn't in corporate before. I couldn't understand all of these things, but I one good thing about paying attention to people's stories is you can pick up on clues and you can learn from it. So you can be prepared for these situations and all of that. This seems like it just came out of nowhere. You can also know when your company's going to do layoffs based on the performance of your company and a whole bunch of different things. But this one seems kind of fishy because it seemed like he just randomly. I we need to get more context real quick. Let's get more context before we start speaking on it. Right now, it seems like he got fired. Just fired for something, but let's just figure out.
And she basically tells me, we're not going to sign your support letter. We're actually going to lay you off. Here is your severance. Here is all the details. Can you sign here? Now, during that period of time, I'm like, damn, that was unexpected, right? And I wasn't thinking of,
It should not be unexpected at all. I feel how do I put it somewhere? It's like it looks like he's still struggling from the fact of being laid off, and it really hurts. It lost his job. That's probably where he wanted to stay, obviously, because he gave the form. But this doesn't seem like a mass layoff situation right now because I feel like it wouldn't be unexpected at that sense. This is why I said it felt like more he got fired, which sucks. Like companies don't have to be loyal to you at all. You don't have to be loyal to these companies. That's why a lot of them are each person can leave on any basis. Hey, but right now in this job market, you can't. That's what I was going. You don't have the flexibility to just instantly get hired like that at a snap of your finger. It's so hard to do. But yeah, let's continue.
how can I survive? What's my next job? I was thinking, my visa expires in 9 days, and I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. Do I have to uproot my life? Do I have to move ASAP? How am I gonna deal with all the possessions that I have here? Because I have monitors, I have like little guitars and stuff like that, my car, all those different type of toys that I bought over the session. Do I have to sell it all in 9 days and go back up to Canada, right? That was one of the questions I had. Because I was very financially responsible, I wasn't that concerned about the money necessarily. So there was a good thing, right? But overall, basically, we walked out of the office. I had the paperwork with me. She told me, get all your stuff, put it in a box, and get out, basically. So I did that. I didn't put any put any consideration to it. I'm like, fine, this is the process. This is what I had to do. I went home, and actually the first thing I did was I reached out to my family, let them know that I was laid off, and then the next step I did was I reached out to all my network to get my next job. Right, so talk with a bunch of people. Say, hey, I got laid off. Can anybody refer me a job? Right, so a lot of people have compassion for that. So we'll see where it goes from there. But depending.
Mm. A lot of people have compassion for. A lot of people do have compassion for you getting laid off and losing your job. It's I don't I heard from somebody before, and this is a person who is a director at some kind of corporate company and everything like that. I heard from them before that when you're reaching out to people to look for new opportunities, it may not always be the best to say that you were laid off exactly. Like, unless you're at some company and a major company is doing a huge layoffs and it's on the news and people see it on your LinkedIn. It's obvious that you probably were part of that batch and stuff. Then the stuff's still obvious, but it's still, I feel like it's not great to lead off of people to say, hey, you got laid off at a job. I feel like it's more or less like, hey, I'm looking for new opportunities to grow in these sectors. What do you guys have here? Do you guys have positions opening up here? I'm trying, like, there's ways to go around it to seem more ambitious enough about it. I get it's hard when you're going through whatever. Mentally, this impacts everybody differently, especially on a mental aspect. He seems to be struggling a lot with it, especially since he has to go through his visa and everything. But this is yeah, these are always tough. I kind of was hoping that I would get more of a sense of what was going on in the company itself. Like, I don't want you to tell me the company's name. Never mention people's names or companies' names in videos that you make on the internet. I feel like it's very bad to do something like that, but like more of a stance of like, because it just seems like it was just him and stuff. And this is just really bad timing and things. I actually haven't seen any news on like Blind or anything about somebody doing layoffs in the last 2 weeks, which is when this was dropped. But so it could have been way before then, at the end of the day. But hopefully everything goes well for him. Hopefully it all pays off. It pays its dividends and everything, and that he's able to grow from it and find a better career and all of that. Let's just hear the rest of what he has to say real quick before we wrap up this video, though.
Depending on which, I don't know how much time I'll need to process here and there. But you know what? I just wanted to share my experience here. And if I were to give you guys advice for those of you who are still gainfully employed, I would recommend this. Live below your means. You might, just because you get a raise, just because you get positive feedback at work, doesn't necessarily mean that your job is safe. One of the things that I got out of this is no job is ever safe. So never, ever, ever rely on your employer. You always need to fix what's in your control and work on that, right? And what's in your control is to save money, to live below your means, and make sure you always have a fully funded emergency fund. And I am really glad that I did that, because for the most part I'm totally fine. But I hope that video was helpful. I don't know.
I can give him one kudos before we wrap this up. The biggest kudos I can give for him is he's smart. Why I say he's smart is because of what he just said at the end, and he was giving little pieces of it throughout his speech about saving up properly and having about 6-month emergency fund and all of that, and you living within your means. That is going about it the smartest way possible. And that's why I say he's going to be all right. He's going to be good. This isn't like he's one of those engineers that out there blowing their money every second they get. Every time they get a raise, they go out and blow it. They're always doing all this crazy stuff and things. He's going to be all right. I believe he's going to be all right. And if you guys like this video, go down below, subscribe to his channel if you like his videos down there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you guys want me to do an interview with him, potentially, we can have interview videos. I'm thinking about starting an interview series. If you want to do one so we can find out more about kind of what he was going through, so I can ask him some questions, let me know in the comments down below too, and we'll get on it. I promise you that. We will get on it. Next year is the year of interviews. In 2025, we're doing it. We're going to grow. And without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share. It means a lot for me as well, and all of that. I really appreciate it all. If you want to see more videos like this, click one of the videos that linked right up there. And I appreciate you guys, and see you next time. Peace.